Hi, I'm Nikki Cotton.
I'm Chris Cotton.
We've got that part down really well.
That's the seventh time in a row we've said it.
So we are excited to be sharing our story today because we know that if you're watching it, it's because somebody wanted to share this with you and they felt it was important. And I think the reason that they felt it was important is the same reason that we do, some core values that we have about how we get to live our lives and how we get to be in service to others. And we want to share some of our ideas, and maybe some of our ideas will inspire you to go out and follow your dreams. We found a vehicle that worked really well for us. We don't know if it's exactly a match for you. You'll get to hear a little bit more about what we do, but what we hope more than anything is that you are inspired to be able to look for the possibility and hope in your life and find that vehicle that brings that to you.
Yeah, Nikki's going to share a little bit more of our story, obviously, in a minute, but I just wanted to say that we're living a lifestyle of our dreams, and we don't say that to brag so much as Nikki said, to inspire you. It hasn't always been like this. We came into this out of desperation, but we got to a point where we realized we could, in fact, design our own life. And we had some ideas about what we wanted it to look like, and freedom was a big part of it. And then we found that it could be even bigger than we imagined, and freedom of choice being the biggest freedom of all. And we know that each and every one of you deserve the life that you want. So I think we have something important to share.
Thanks. And before we found this vehicle, I just want to tell you a little bit about what we did. We owned a construction company. And the reason that we started our own company was because we thought that if we could build up a company of our own, it would allow us to do some of the things that we had dreamed about. We dreamed about traveling. We met in Peru, so we are travelers at heart. We dreamed about spending lots of time with our children and not having to put them in daycare. We dreamed about spending time with family when we chose. So we really had some ideas of what our life might look like. And I offer that up to you, that you should try to vision your life 5 years down the road. It's a great idea. You need to say something, I can tell.
Yes, I didn't dream of becoming a professional recreationologist. It just happened. Go ahead.
I'll tell you a little more about that. But we did have dreams, and what we learned with your own small kind of business, it's not always possible to do that because you're really tied to a business. If it's a roof and mortar, what's the brick and mortar? Right, you're tied to it. And we found that after several years that we were working 14, 16-hour days. When we had our girls, Chris rarely saw them. They were in daycare, all the things that we didn't want. And we struggled financially up and down with this company, sometimes doing okay, sometimes not so much. But I lost all my dreams. All I wanted to do was get through the day-to-day and make it work and be able to feed my kids and keep my home. And you know, if I saw an item for $3 or $5, we were so tight, I couldn't even do that. So dreaming was really not available to me at that point in time. And flash forward 10 years of owning our own business, and it got worse. And that is that we owed about $250,000 and did not know if we could save our house. It was such a scary time. We joked around to make it a little bit easier, but we joked around the fact that they might take our firstborn as a down payment. It was just a horrific time. For me, emotionally, it was scary. And of course, for Chris, maybe it was worse. I don't know. Chris, what was it for you?
Well, I'm going to try to be brief about this because this is the history part. But I grew up an athlete. And as an athlete, it was kind of a make it happen kind of person, and whatever it takes, you know, get her done. And I was confident that we could make that business work, but we found ourselves in bankruptcy court. We found ourselves very possibly losing the house, and I didn't know what happened, and I didn't know what to do. And it was a scary time for me. I had to keep an optimistic face so that Nikki didn't really freak out any more than we already were. And but I was devastated. I lost my confidence. And there's an important point here I just want to share, is when we got the things rolling, when we investigated this vehicle and found the Juice Plus company and turned this around, and Nikki's going to talk about that. Even after we got the money rolling, I still didn't get my confidence back for a while. It took a while, so it was devastating.
So I have to just say really quickly, because we want to keep this as short as possible, that Chris did his due diligence in looking at this. We felt like we'd made a mistake the first time around. We had our dreams, but we chose something that really didn't meet our needs. And so when he said, we're going to look at this, I am going to research this and make sure that this is, because I think you said, I can't afford to make another mistake. That's how you felt.
Yeah.
So he did a really great job, and he showed me everything that I finally needed to come on board. And so we joined a company that we loved the president, we loved the integrity of the company, we loved what they stood for, inspiring healthy living around the world. You can't get anything better than that. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience specifically with Juice Plus. I have to tell you, when I first looked at Juice Plus, I was a little bit cynical and a little bit thinking it might not work. Fruits and vegetables in a capsule sound a little crazy to me. I knew she'd eat them. But what we experienced over time was more energy, for me, more regularity. For our family as a whole, we didn't share colds anymore. We never got the flu. In fact, our girls didn't see a doctor for the first 12 years they were on Juice Plus. And prior to that, we had all gotten strep throat a couple times a year. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen for anybody, or everybody, rather.
Right.
But that was our experience. And currently, our experience because of Juice Plus is we are closer to 70, should I say that?
Yes.
Than we are to 60. Neither one of us are on any pharmaceuticals. And I have to say that, Chris, what do you do every day in the winter?
Well, I am serious about my recreation, and we love the water. This allowed us not only to go back to my hometown of Ashland, Oregon, and buy, not just buy in Ashland, but we bought my mom's old house, raised our kids where we were raised, and our very next bucket list item was to get a house on a lake. So we have a house, might be euphemistic. Let's call it a cabin.
Yeah, little cabin.
Little cabin in a gorgeous location that allows me to water ski every day. Now, only in the summer. I think you're going to talk more about that part. But 3 years ago, at the age of 65, I got into stand-up paddle surfing. And now I surf about 2 hours every day, and I love it.
And he does that in the winter. And he does that in the winter because I am a non-winter person, which means that if you live in Oregon, you're in the winter. I don't like that so much. So we do is we winter down in Carpinteria near Santa Barbara in the winter, which we have a condo down here that's 200 steps from the sand. And in the summer, we're back in Oregon where the weather's beautiful and hot, and we have a lake, and it's fabulous. And, we certainly don't tell you any of that to brag, but really to impress upon you, we came from absolute less than flat broke, worse than flat broke. And which lets you know that it's not that we were the smartest people around to start a business in construction, which we never had any business doing. Chris didn't know much about it. I didn't know much about bookkeeping. But when we looked into this and we saw that there was a system and that we would follow the system, whatever they told us to do, we simply did, because we really wanted to turn our lives around, and we really wanted to still have those dreams that we had originally had so many years earlier. And it allowed us to put our girls, when they chose the colleges that they wanted to go to, which were out of state and more expensive than anything else, we could say yes. Now, it's not that you always say yes to your children for everything you want, but I'm going to tell you something. Being able to say yes when it's important instead of no because you can't afford it is really amazing.
I just have to tell this story. Is when our oldest daughter brought me a statement. She said, "Dad, would you write me a check for this amount for the college?" And I said, "Is that for all 4 years?" So anyway,
and
ahead.
it was not.
It was not.
for a semester.
Yeah, right.
But in any case, the point is that we worked really hard to create this. It wasn't overnight success. Although what we put in process the first 90 days really did launch our business, but it was diligent work over the first 3+ years. And what I also saw in this particular company is the fact that they had a benefits package like corporate America, only we were so independent. So we had healthcare, and I'm really security driven. So to have a really great benefits package with insurance and eye, dental, regular medical, major medical, all of those important things, long-term care,
Tuition fund for
tuition
kids.
fund for our kids. We collected over $8,000 for our girls while they were going to college. This company really walks its talk. It's generous, and it's treated us very well. And so we are just so thankful that we did do the due diligence that we did, that we found a home in a company that has a mission statement to inspire healthy living and healthy giving around the world, because our company is feeding over 10 million people this year through Volunteers of America that we've donated to, and we support St. Jude's, the biggest supporter of St. Jude's for their marathon. So it really has been a way that we could create a lifestyle for our family, leave a legacy to our girls, but be very fulfilled knowing that every penny we earn comes from helping somebody get healthy or helping somebody create some financial security.
Yeah, I would like to just expand upon that. There are 3 gifts that we bring to the marketplace. The gift of health. And you could argue about that, but we have a track record of 25 years, and we put tens of thousands of customers on this product line, Juice Plus and the Juice Plus Complete. And we hear the stories, and we see what happens. We see what happens with pregnancy and healthy babies. We see what happens with athletes. So it's really not debatable, especially when you look at the research that we can back it up with. And we have a lot of research. So if you're looking at Juice Plus, check that out. Second of all, we bring the gift of financial improvement. You know, it's a pretty important part of anybody's life, is having that financial security. And whether it's an extra $1,000, that can give you some freedom, or an extra $5,000 and above and beyond. And certainly, you know, we live a lifestyle that quite a bit above that, but it's your choice. There are no limits. And finally, the last gift is that gift of a vehicle that makes a difference. It brings more purpose and meaning to your life because you're making a difference. You're serving others. And as Nikki loves to say, that we go to bed every night knowing that every penny that we've made has come from serving others. And that's probably the most exciting part of it all.
So we wish you well. We hope each of you find the vehicle that you're looking for that allows you to design your life, to be fulfilled, that brings you hope, that brings you health. And we send our love to all of you. And thanks for listening to us and allowing us to come into your space today.
All right. See y'all.